Okay, so assuming everyone can hear me, yeah, this is Super Melee Adventure 64. This was a 2019 ROM hack by Pasta Power, and this is basically the Super Smash Bros. Melee Adventure mode in the Super Mario 64 engine. Basically, it's really cool. It's one of my favorite ROM hacks, and I'm excited to show it. I did show this as well at the previous marathon over the summer, but there have been some improvements to it as well, which I'm excited to show. And yeah, looks like we're good to get started. So, assuming we're ready on time here, 3, 2, 1, time. Okay, so I don't have a lot of time to explain things right in the beginning. There will be some downtime later. Big skip right here to start out. Okay, I'm so happy I got that. Yeah, so that is the high roll skip. That saves about 40 plus seconds. You can skip basically most of the high roll stage. And I did that last marathon, but I also added in a new section at the end there, that triple jump wall kick to the little platform, which saves an extra few seconds. So next is the Mushroom Kingdom stage. Here we just have to get all the red coins. So there's 5 characters in this game: Mario, Luigi, Fox, Falcon, and Ness. Normally you just run one character at a time when you run this game for the leaderboard on speedrun.com, but just for the marathon I'm going to be showing all 5 characters combined into one run. So this is a really movement-based hack, which is one of my favorite things about it, and each of the 5 characters all play very differently. Some of their strats vary quite a bit, so even though the stages are the same for the characters, the run actually changes quite a bit because of their different abilities and strengths and weaknesses. So Mario plays exactly the same as he does in Mario 64. So just starting off with Mario here, because you should all be pretty familiar with it. So yeah, there's a lot of movement-based sections in the beginning here, but I will have some time during some of the other stages where I can explain more things. Here's the Metroid Escape stage. So just doing a triple jump to cut up some of the slope, cut down some of the climbing there on the slope. Oops, just gotta make our way back up here. Not a big deal. So yeah, doing the triple jump onto the slope, which saves me a lot of the time climbing up the slope, and then I can just hold A and do my A-B kicks and make it the rest of the way through. This is a good example of a stage that changes a lot based on character, because every character's jumping abilities are different, and the stage is all about jumping. Okay, pretty good. A little bit of a mishap in the beginning there, but overall pretty good Metroid stage. So normally each character's run takes about 7 to 8 minutes, depending on the character, and if you put them all together into one run like I'm doing here, it could take up to an hour. My time at the previous marathon was about 50 minutes, so I would really like to try to beat that time today. Here's the Corneria stage, which is a red coin stage, and there's a little bit of a carpet ride here. Basically the R-Wing is the same as the carpets in the original game. And I don't think there's any way you could skip this, because some of the red coins are really far out there. Here we have to jump over the flames the first time, but we can just get hit the second time, because we're going to heal from the red coins anyway, and the star. So yeah, I did run this at the previous marathon, but there have been some improvements. Basically, I first started running this game about a year ago. Around this time, I ran it for about a month or two, and I managed to get the world record for each individual character, which was a really fun grind. And then I kind of de-rusted it at the time of the previous marathon. And after that marathon, I also found a really big new skip for Fox, which saves about 30 seconds, and I, in total, saved 137 seconds off the world record in total for each of the characters' runs, which averages out to around 27 seconds per character. So I feel like the world records which I got are fairly optimized. They're definitely beatable, but I'm not fully de-rusted at this game right now, but if I tried to go back and beat them, it would probably be pretty tough. But I would love other people to try to run this and beat them because this is a really good speed game. So here's the big RNG section, the Pikachu stage. The goal is we have to defeat all the Pikachus except at least one and collect their blue coins. And the Pikachus basically just run around like crazy. Every time you defeat one, they drop a blue coin. And you need to get at least all blue coins except one. You can only afford to miss one. And the Pikachus just run around like crazy. They're very hard to catch. It's a very big mixture of RNG and reaction. You need to make quick decisions on this stage, and a bad Pikachu stage can lose like 20 seconds to a good one. So in a speed game where the world records are around like 7 minutes each, this stage is really crucial, and it's typically done very early on in the run, but because I'm going to be completing all these runs anyway, it doesn't really matter. That was actually a pretty decent one. So there's 6 stages, 6 stars, and then a Giga Bowser fight at the end. And you can do the stages in any order, which is actually a great feature of this game, because each individual character can actually... Some characters might want to do the stages in a different order. For example, Mario has a pretty difficult high roll skip, as you saw there in the beginning, so I usually like to do the high roll stage with Mario first. But other characters like Luigi have a bit of an easier high roll skip, so I'll tend to do like the Pikachu stage first because that's RNG, and you want to generally in speedruns put the most inconsistent parts of the run at the start. So the fact that you have the choice of that in this game is really helpful. This is a really well made hack by Pasta Power. He also made the Mario Bros. Super Show hack and also the Captain Falcon in Mario 64 hack. Both have been on this marathon before in past years. So this stage is really easy, it's just an auto-scroller. There's really nothing you can do to speed it up or slow it down or anything. Unfortunately, there's really not even like rubber banding AI or anything. It doesn't particularly matter how fast you finish the race. There's small optimizations you can make. I actually did a bad job of it there because I wasn't paying attention. You want to talk to the other car as far away from, as closest to the star as you can. But it just matters for like frames. So now the Giga Bowser fight. Messed up a speed kick there, no big deal. Entering the left side of the door because the animation is quicker. So thankfully this is just one Bowser throw. Okay, that was actually a really clean Mario run, which I'm happy with. I remember last time I ran this I was pretty nervous right at the start, and the Mario run was a bit sloppy, but aside from that really like one mistake in the Metroid stage, this was really good for Mario actually. The world record is about 7:11 I think for Mario, 7 minutes 11 seconds, so I don't know what this came to, but yeah, it's pretty damn close actually, like relatively speaking. So again, normally this is, 5 individual speedruns. We're just putting it into one here. So I just have to actually switch the game over to the Luigi one, because each character is its own individual ROM. Unfortunately, there's no like character select. So now we just get started with the Luigi run. So Luigi can jump a lot higher than Mario, but he's floatier and is very slippery as well. Okay, awesome. Got that with Luigi as well. It's a bit easier with Luigi, as I mentioned, because he's floatier, so you have kind of more margin for error with his jumps there. And so we'll come up on our first major difference here. Luigi can do a skip at the beginning here. Triple jump dive, and we can just barely make it over here. And that skip basically saves around 10 seconds. And it lets us do a faster route for this stage, kind of like a reverse route. You can also do a skip there. If you jump at like maybe the last frame on that slope, you can skip having to swim there, which is nice, but it only saves like a couple seconds. I think I actually missed it in the world record. Luigi, when I went and improved all the world records for this game, was the first character and only character I managed to get a sub 7-minute run with. I believe my world record with Luigi is 6 minutes and 58 seconds, which is the only sub 7-minute time for this game, so I was really happy with that. If you combine all the characters' runs, I've put thousands of attempts into this game, so it's really one of my favorite speed games out there. So Luigi, because he's so good at jumping, can do this stage just a little bit quicker than Mario. We make it a little bit higher up there with the triple jump. Oops, okay, so yeah, one thing that's actually a bit of a challenge with this game, to run it in the marathon like this, is you have to get used to all the characters at the same time, which is tricky because they all play so differently. So like normally when I run this game on my own, I'm usually running like one character like per day or even per week, whereas with this I have to kind of be used to all the characters. But it's an interesting challenge and I enjoy the challenge. So Luigi has such good jumps that it's worth doing those like little tasks, pole jumps there. You can do them with Mario, but unless you're like frame perfect, they're not going to save you any time. So I'm actually just doing the same order because I know I'm going to be stages because I know I'm going to be finishing all these runs. But yeah, each character tends to have their own different order. With Luigi, I don't need to do a kick when I jump over these flames because his jumps are so good. And this would be a good time for a sip of water. Perfect, okay. So the hitbox on the R-Wing is actually bigger than it looks, so we can actually run off the side of it a little bit before we do a long jump. Sorry if you can hear my chair squeaking, I'm using like a 15-year-old squeaky office chair. So basically, you have to be really careful here. If you fall off, you have to restart the entire red coin star here. So here I just like to long jump until I get to the flat part, and then a couple long jumps to the star. So, as I mentioned, the Pikachu stage is very RNG. My sub 7-minute run for the Luigi world record had like a really insane Pikachu segment. Like I think it was like 39 seconds or so was the segment time. And like just for reference, like a pretty good Pikachu segment would be like low 50 seconds. So you can really like get a crazy Pikachu segment time if you start getting like all these triple kills and all that. Like the potential is kind of limitless. So like this game could theoretically almost be pushed like forever because you could always have that like 1 in 1,000 like insane Pikachu segment. And hopefully it doesn't happen during this run. Okay, that's kind of what I was actually about to talk about. There is a chance that the blue coins can fall off the side of the stage. There's only a very low invisible ceiling keeping them on. I'm actually going to make sure that doesn't happen with this guy. And if more than one blue coin falls off the stage, you have to restart the Pikachu stage, which is kind of annoying. And that actually happened to me several times when I ran this in the summer marathon. It's not the end of the world, like you can just retry the stage, but if you're doing runs of this, then it's probably going to be a reset, unless it's one of your first runs. But yeah, as I mentioned, this is a really, really good speed game because it's a pretty easy game casually. Like, even if you don't have a lot of experience with Mario 64, you could probably pick up this game and beat it just casually within around 30 minutes for any character. And you know, if you want to speedrun it, you don't have to do like crazy strats. Like, you can just pretty much play through the game normally, and with a little bit of practice, you can pretty easily get like a sub 10-minute time. And then if you really want to like work on your movement and be more advanced with it, you can try to get like a time within like low 7 minutes, depending on character. So it's a really, really good speed game. I also run the, I started it out, and I still do run the vanilla version of Mario 64. I actually got involved with Mario 64 speedrunning and glitch hunting back in 2007 on game FAQs on the forums there. And there wasn't actually many people actively running it back then. It was more just looking for glitches and routes and everything, like discovering like the 0-star and 1-star categories as well. But then a few years ago, I actually got back into Mario 64 speedrunning after doing some Zelda speedrunning for a while. And I have some decent times. I have a 53 and 70 star, a 17 and 16 star, and a sub 2 and 120 star, which are like, I would say, intermediate level times. And your experience with the vanilla game will definitely translate to this game, even though you have to make some adjustments with the different characters. Maybe I can do a Bowser teleport grab here? Nope, I guess not. So Giga Bowser's hitbox is actually smaller than it looks. Oops, okay, just gotta re-grab him here. You can re-grab him like instantly, but it's tricky to do. Okay, just don't want to fall here. If you miss the throw, it can kind of be a nightmare sometimes. One more try. Yeah, so his hitbox is the same as normal Bowser, so you have to get closer than it looks to actually grab him. There we go. Yeah, so one mistake I was actually making there is I was overspinning Bowser a bit. Even in the vanilla game, it's really important to not overspin Bowser. You really only want to spin him maybe 2 or 3 rotations, depending on how fast you can rotate the control stick, because if you do faster than that, he's going to spin around so quick that it's actually more precise to hit the throw. You can also pause buffer Bowser throws, but it's a little bit tricky to do, and it depends on the version you're playing on for the timing for it. So next will be... okay, let's just do it with Fox. So Fox has the big new skip, so hopefully I get this first try. It's pretty difficult. I'm actually gonna... well, this is fine. It doesn't matter if I reset the file or not, really. So basically Fox has a high roll skip, which is completely different than any other character. Actually gonna take a burn here on purpose, just to do the platforming. So Fox's issue is he has an extremely high falling speed, and he also doesn't have a triple jump. It's replaced with an up B, like for melee, but he can't wall kick out of this. His jumps are just very poor overall, but he does have a really good triple jump, so I can use it to hopefully do this. Okay, I got it. Yeah, so that is the new skip that saves around 30 seconds. That was not known at the time of the previous marathon run of this. It's a really significant new skip, and I think my Fox world record improved by like 50-something seconds compared to the last marathon. So really happy that I was able to get that first try there. That's like the big new skip for this game. And Fox can also use the Firefox to do the same skip that Luigi can do. So it's really interesting, like Fox's jumping abilities are like clearly worse than Mario, but because he can do this, like he can still do the skip here, whereas Mario can't. So like, it's not so much that characters are like better than others, it's more just like they all have their own advantages and disadvantages. And I misspoke earlier, he does have a triple jump, as you saw there with the skip, but he does not have a long jump. The long jump is the Firefox now. And swimming is slow, so just going to use the Firefox to skip a good chunk of it there. You can get trolled a little bit at this part because the Goombas are always in a different spot. Thankfully they were nice this time, and one was even kind enough to fall into the water. There's also some invisible walls that you have to be concerned about there, which can be another run killer, but if you know where they are, you can generally avoid them. So Fox, when he's running at full speed, he can actually just run really, really fast and run up the slope. So that saves quite a bit of time. And because he has the Firefox move, he can do some skips here as well. There's a tricky one right here. Okay, so it didn't look like much, but I basically had to hold back a little bit during that last Firefox because the platform is so high, and it was actually close by horizontally, that I needed to make sure Fox gained enough height before I actually like held forward to land on the platform. Yeah, so Fox is interesting. He has no long jump, so that really changes things for the speedrun. It's kind of like Mario Sunshine in a way. I've never ran Mario Sunshine, but I have learned a lot of the speedrun tricks for it just for fun. And it's very different not having the long jump available. So he can just barely make this jump as well. Okay, yeah, you just don't want to get hit there because then you would not be able to get hit the second time. As you see, my HP goes down to 50 from just one hit of that. And we could just use the Firefox again here to shorten the R-wing trip there a little bit. And when I'm landing here, I'm just usually holding neutral on the stick because the best way to not slide off when you're trying to platform in Mario 64 is just to let go of the control stick when you land, and you kind of lose all your momentum almost right away when you hold neutral in this game. And he can actually just run his way up the slope here. And he basically gains some speed when he's been running for a while, Fox, and the same with Falcon, which you'll see in a little bit. But it is still slightly faster to do some jump dives. It's kind of tricky to time his frame-perfect jump dives because he falls so fast, so if you're just used to like regular Mario 64, you might mess them up. And again, I'm not like fully de-rusted with this game right now. That's bad that a coin fell, but hopefully no others will. But I'm de-rusted enough to where I feel like I can put on a decent run here. I would probably have to play this game for like a few weeks if I really wanted to try to improve the records. So just kind of playing this a little bit safe, you can kind of make sure you only defeat the Pikachus when they're not near the corners, just to make sure the coins don't fall off. You wouldn't want to do that in an actual like world record attempt at this game, because you just want to hope for the best, basically. Oops, have to go do the F-Zero stage as well. But again, if 2 coins fall off, and 1 coin did fall off in that Pikachu stage, then I would have to restart the stage. Yeah, so I did talk about this in my previous run of this, but in case anyone missed it, Super Mario 64 and Super Smash Bros. Melee are like, probably I would say at the moment, my 2 favorite games of all time. So this ROM hack was like practically made for me. Like, you couldn't think of a better 2 things coming together. Melee I used to play all the time in the early 2010s. I also competed in Brawl, Project M, Smash 4 for a bit, and even Smash Ultimate more recently as well. Melee was my favorite, and I was decent at some points. I was ranked 14th, I think, on the 2014 New York, New Jersey Power Rankings. I've beaten a player, Duck, in tournament, who's at one point was maybe considered the best Samus player. I've taken a tournament game off Mewtwo King. And I was ranked first on the Anthers ladder back during the Netplay era as well. So I had some decent melee accomplishments, and I also won a 100-man tournament in New York one time, which was really fun. But I was nothing too special as a melee player. I just had a lot of passion for the game, and I don't play it too much anymore because it causes wrist pain if I play it too long. But I still really enjoy watching melee tournaments. So this hack just like never gets old to me because I love Melee and Mario 64 so much, so being able to like almost play them at the same time is just so much fun. And I love speedrunning, so it's like 3 amazing things in one. Perfect. Okay, that was pretty good for Fox. Unfortunately, this game is not super active anymore as a speedrun. If you go on the leaderboards, there is quite a few runs posted for it on the Super Melee Adventure 64 leaderboard on speedrun.com, but I'm pretty much the only active runner for this game, unfortunately, so I highly encourage anyone else to try running it. Just using my OSRS Be Right Back screen. Okay, so here is the Ness run. So Ness has some interesting lore for this game, which I'll get into in a second. Actually, I found a new movement here, which I would like to try, but I literally found this like an hour before the... Okay, that saves actually a small amount of time compared to what I normally do. Ness has some interesting story with this because he cannot really do the high roll skip. I'll explain more in a second. But he's basically the only character in this where I'm going to do essentially the intended route for the stage. So he basically has a crazy double jump, which you just saw right there. It goes super duper high, and the only problem is it bounces and you can't grab ledges from it. There's the double jump right there. It's basically his melee double jump, but you do it from the ground. But the issue is his long jump really sucks, and he does not have a triple jump because of that double jump. It just replaces it completely, and he can't wall kick out of his double jump as well. So that's a big issue for trying to do a high roll skip. So we just do it the normal way here. We activate the Song of Time blocks here, and then we can kind of make our way over the top here. Do a little skip with the platform here. And just be careful of this guy, that's a Chuckya, disguised as a like. And the Redead is actually a bully, and because he's actually a bully, he's very short, so he's not actually as tall as the Redead, so you can just jump over him. So there is actually a way to do the high roll skip as a Ness, but it requires 4 frame-perfect wall kicks, which is pretty damn difficult to do consistently. It's like definitely possible, you can definitely do it, but it's hard to do consistently. So my record for Ness actually does not do the high roll skip. The second place run on the leaderboard actually does do the high roll skip, interestingly, but I was able to beat it just by optimizing the rest of the run. But I really feel like there is probably a way to do the high roll skip more consistently with Ness that does not require the long jump into 4 firsties. But I've looked a lot, and I haven't found anything so far. If we have some time at the end, I might show some theories I have of how you could do it. So a little bit sloppy play with Ness right now, but it's tricky to play this game while talking, but okay, that's just bad luck. The Koopas can sometimes interrupt your jumps there, which sucks, but you don't really want to take the time to avoid them because it's pretty rare that they'll interrupt you, so you just kind of want to hope for the best. And you can do a really cool double jump into the star there, which is always fun. So as you see with his long jump, it just does not give you much height. He's like quite floaty as well, and he also takes a long time to build up speed just by running. You can kind of skip that process though just by doing some jump dives or long jumps. Okay, good save there. and his double jump lets us do some skips here. Again, you cannot grab the ledge out of a nest double jump, so you just gotta be careful. Okay, not bad. He's so floaty that it's worth doing the little pole climb there as well, the jumps. Yeah, so I can talk a little bit about it now, like, so you don't have too much to work with for Ness when you're trying to do the high roll skip, because again, you ideally want something that you can wall kick out of, so you really only have his single jump, and also he has a pretty good side flip as well, so I have some theories that maybe he could do a high roll skip with some side flips into wall kicks, and if I have time I'll show them at the end. So for the first red coin, it's more like at the front of the R-wing, and the second one is more kind of in the middle. I might have that backwards, but you just want to be careful on the R-wing, because if you fall off, you have to restart the entire stage if you don't survive. And because he's so bouncy after hitting the springs there, I like to just ground pound, just to kind of normalize things. So you can basically have a choice of doing dives or slide kicks against the Pikachus. Most characters are going to want to focus on slide kicks because you don't need... Okay, that's not good that a coin fell. You don't need as much speed to start a slide kick as you do a dive. Especially with Ness, he takes so long when running to get enough speed to be able to dive that you generally are just going to want to stick to slide kicks. One disadvantage that Ness and Luigi have when doing this stage is when you roll out from your dives or slide kicks, they're so floaty that it takes them like a second to land. So it actually kind of slows things down a little bit in this stage, just very slightly. And as long as this Pikachu does not have his coin fall off, we should be okay. And as you can see, the Pikachus, like, they move so erratically as well. It's very hard to kind of get a feel for how they're moving, and that's honestly something that just requires practice as well. I didn't really practice it a ton for this marathon in terms of derusting for it because it's not a huge time difference compared to some of the other tricks. If I were to fail them, they can be, 30+ second time losses. But I did practice it a decent amount. Another interesting thing with the Pikachu stage, which just adds some more depth to it as well, is like, let's say you just slide kick like 3 Pikachus and you get the blue coins spawned. You still have to pick up the blue coins, but you might see like another group of Pikachus that you want to go for, but you know the blue coins are going to despawn like within 5 to 10 seconds or whatever, so you have to decide really quick, like, can I go get those other Pikachus first, or should I go get the blue coins first and like play it safe? It's just kind of one of those constant things you have to decide, like, in the moment. You don't have any time to think about it, you just have to decide it instantly. And it's just part of optimizing the Pikachu stage. So yeah, this stage is just based on the Penguin race from Mario 64. But unlike that, there just does not seem to be any rubber banding AI. And you can actually get off the cart if you want to, as long as you still win the race. The only thing you don't want to do is start like wall kicking or jumping or doing anything crazy like that, because the original Penguin in the original game has a mechanic where if you're in the air for 2 seconds or more, he assumes you're cheating and he does not give you the star, and that's actually left over into this game as well. It's not really relevant in this game, other than if you trigger that by accident, but in the original game it's just used as a detection for cheating if you were to jump to a lower part of the slide during the race. but I have actually lost runs to that just by like messing around while waiting for the other car to finish, just by wall kicking and stuff. Perfect, okay. So I'm thankful it's only one Bowser throw you need to do in this run, because you can have a really good run going, and then you get to the final Bowser and you miss the throw, and it wastes like 10 seconds every miss. And in a run where you might get the world record by like 2 seconds, you usually can't afford a missed throw.
Congratulations!
So we just got one more character left. That'll be Captain Falcon. So Falcon can do the Hyrule skip just like Mario, but it's really hard to do, so I will probably miss it. Okay, yeah, I didn't get it. That's no problem. Falcon has by far the most difficult Hyrule skip, and because of that I will always do his stage first when I'm grinding runs, because it has a success rate of probably like under 50%. So it's not a big deal to fail it when you're grinding runs, but in a marathon setting I'm just gonna do the stage normally because it's such a precise skip. It's not like crazy difficult, like you can do it, it's not that hard, but there's really just no like margin for error. Like a lot of the time, depending on how you set it up, you will need like a firstie to get enough distance, and that's a bad area to fall here. Falcon is very fast, but he just has very poor jumping abilities, so you can still do the Hyrule skip, it's just a lot more precise than Mario. But he does run very fast, as you see here. The last time I ran this in the marathon, it was so weird actually going through the stage normally as Falcon, because if I missed the Hyrule skip, it's normally just something I would reset over. So I actually did practice a little bit for this marathon to go through the stage normally as a backup. And if you get a really precise jump ground pound there, you can ground pound under the star to save a couple seconds or so. See, I think I mentioned, but this was a hack by Pasta Power. I don't know if he's still active, but he made some very quality hacks, so hopefully he comes back sometime. Okay, I don't know what the invisible wall there was, but I missed the jump anyway. So Falcon cannot do the skip at the start of the stage. He just does not have the jumping ability. Here's the Goomba troll I mentioned. Wow, I don't know how that worked, honestly. I thought the Goomba was just going to completely hit me off there. And that's a really bad spot to fall in the water, unfortunately, if you do. There's like nothing to swim to nearby. And Falcon has no way of clearing this gap as well. So you just need to go for a swim. It's nice doing a rollout to land in the little pit there with the red coin, because if you jump there normally, you'll very often grab the ledge, which is annoying. So yeah, basically Falcon does not really have anything too special about him. Unlike the other characters, he doesn't really have like a crazy jump he can do or anything. All of his jumps just don't give much height. Like his triple jump is pretty atrocious, and I mean his long jump is fine. But he can do the same thing Fox can do here. Just run up the side here, which saves a lot of time. Okay, that was supposed to be a kick. It's actually very disorienting if you fall here because, again, normally that would just be a reset. So it's a little tricky to know where to run back up. But, yeah, overall this run has been quite good so far, despite some of these small mistakes. Okay. That'll actually be a death. Okay, I was just about to say deathless, but that's okay. Yeah, I'm kind of getting a little mixed up the muscle memory, but that's no big deal, again, because it is a little tricky having multiple characters to run as well. But I enjoy the challenge. Part of it as well is like I'm used to playing this stage pretty risky, whereas like it probably would be better to just like play it more safe in a marathon setting. But it's like I kind of would rather just do the strats that I know how to do, like, and that I've practiced, rather than kind of like play it so safe. But that's no big deal. That's probably Falcon's most difficult stage aside from the high roll stage, so it's okay that it takes a second try sometimes. But yeah, it's an interesting experience running this game, because it's really all about like you just have to go all out like the entire run. Like my sum of best might be like 10 seconds lower than my PB, so considering the variance of the Pikachu stage, you pretty much just have to like full YOLO the other stages for the most part. There are some like very small safe strats that I'll do, like, or very difficult strats that I won't do. Like you can actually grab a red coin in this stage while the R-Wing is moving, so it saves a little bit of time because you can like kill two birds with one stone, but it only saves like 1 to 2 seconds, so I don't believe I did it in any of the current world records, if I remember correctly. It's like a strat I kind of go back and forth with in terms of whether or not it's worth it, because like it is nice to have that extra time save, but then again, that's like the 1 or 2 seconds that it saves is like pretty negligible compared to like the 20 seconds of variance in the Pikachu stage. And especially like if I get a good Pikachu stage at the start of the run, like that can be a quite rare thing to get, so I don't want to risk the whole run later on. Okay, that's not good, the coin fell. Okay, another fell, but so I'm gonna have to restart the stage. Not a big deal. It's actually good that it happened right at the start, because it can happen at the end as well. And that happened a lot in my previous run of this, so having it happen hopefully just the one time here is not a big deal. And wow, that was a quadruple kill, which is extremely rare, so that's actually really good. This could actually be like an insane Pikachu stage, except the coin just fell. And another disappeared, so I actually have to restart again. That's on me though, that the other one disappeared. And immediately another one fell off. Yeah, that is just one kind of flaw of this game, that the coins can fall off. If Pasta Power was to ever update this game, that should be like the #1 thing that he fixes. The coins shouldn't be able to just fall off the stage like that and kind of soft lock you. But the rest of the hack is really, really well made. And like, as annoying as it is to have like an RNG-based stage, it also is kind of fun to like just see what kind of luck you get and see if you can react to it properly. But yeah, if anyone wants a challenge, I highly encourage them to try running this game. More competition would always be very fun to have. And it's nice that it's like such a movement-based hack as well, because your movement from other ROM hacks will definitely translate, and you can also just tell your movement will improve over time playing this game. At one point I even got really interested in like timing different movement, like okay, should I do like 3 long jumps there, or should I do like a long jump and then like 2 jump dives, and I would time it to where like, okay, one is like half a second faster, and like it's just kind of fun to try to like squeeze out every little bit of time save that you can. And because like the stages are so platforming based, you have a lot of choices like that. Like pretty much every aspect of this run is scripted, aside from the Pikachu segment. I mean, there is some variation as well, like depending on the enemies, like the Goombas in the Mushroom Kingdom stage. But overall, you generally know like exactly where you're gonna do like jump dives and jump kicks and all that. Okay, so here's the final Bowser stage of the run. So time will be when the celebration animation starts, after picking up the star. So not when the star actually touches Falcon, but when the pickup animation starts like a couple seconds later, similar to the Bowser keys. Perfect. Okay, so I will count down 3, 2, 1 on time. So I haven't looked at the timer this run, but I know my previous run of this over the summer marathon was a little over 50 minutes, so let's see, 3, 2, 1, time. Wow, like 45 minutes something? My stream is a little bit delayed, but let's see.
Congratulations!
Should be like a 45, 30... Let's see what this comes out to, just watching the stream on my own end there. Should be a 45:38, which is really good actually, so that's nearly 5 minutes saved off my previous marathon run of this, so new marathon PB. A little sloppy at parts, but I'm really happy with how this went, and because I finished so soon over estimate, maybe I can just quickly show a couple theories I had for the NES high roll skip. Just gotta hop over to the NES ROM and I can show you. Unless they don't have time. If we don't have time, that's okay too. It's up to the marathon people. I actually want to activate the cheat codes as well. Just so I can show this. This won't take more than like 2 or 3 minutes. Okay, so real quick. So normally if you want to do the high roll skip with a NES, which again, only the second place time on the leaderboard does, you would basically have to do this, like, do this, but 4 first frame wall kicks, and you would have enough speed to basically make it up to there. Yeah, so if you could do 4 first frame wall kicks, you can make it up to that ledge and do the high roll skip, but again, my run does not do that in the world record, and despite that it would still save like 40 seconds. I did have a couple theories as to what you could do, like maybe this, but like even with 3 firsties I'm not quite making it up there. Like there's different things you can do to get like really close. That's just one example, but basically all you really have to work with is this awful long jump, this jump, and then also his side flip. So like another idea I had is like you could maybe get like a really fast single jump there and maybe do something with that as well. And also you could like get really close with a speed kick. Let's see here. I can't speed kick today, but basically if you did a speed kick like this, you could like almost get up there, so it's really close. And then the last theory I had really quick is you can also do like another potential skip. If you go over here, there's actually a pit here, which you can maybe, normally when you're up on the floor above this, you can fall into that pit there. That symbol on the ceiling is actually an open area you can access. And you could like almost quite make it up there with a double jump, but not quite. Like, if you could somehow find a way to get up there, it would save, like, look how close that is, but you can't grab the ledge out of the double jump, and you can't wall kick, so, like, it's so close, but so far away. But yeah, if anyone wants to have some fun, try to find a skip in this stage, because it would save quite a lot of time. So yeah, that was Super Mario Adventure 64. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. You can follow me on, I don't really stream too much, but you can follow me on YouTube. I upload there pretty often at AndrewAJT, also AndrewAJT on Twitch and Twitter as well. And yeah, I highly encourage anyone to run this game. Definitely, you can message me on Discord as well if you'd like if you have any questions for how to run this game. And thank you so much to the marathon organizers and all that. It's great to be able to have a chance to run this game here. So thank you guys so much, and enjoy the rest of the marathon. Maybe I'll hop on for some commentary for some later runs, depending on how things work out with my schedule. Thanks, everyone.